Yo, this Ross again, 708 Exotics, man. You understand me, family? Dig this, Jack. Your yard is built off a stud, man. Always know that. First and foremost, a yard is built off a stud, man. You dig? Some say it's built off a bitch, but who she come from? Who is her daddy? A stud. You know what I mean? It's like you got to have a badass stud to go to a badass bitch, right? The pedigree is determined by who the father is. It's not who the mother is. It's the bloodline come from the daddy, right? So you have a badass stud and you run into another badass stud daughter. Bow. There you go. Then you produce a badass stud. It's about production too, man. It ain't just about you just making dogs to make dogs. What is your production and how do your production produce? So you want to produce you a badass female and you want to produce you a badass stud. And then you run them together and now you got a badass litter. You see what I'm saying? Do y'all follow me? You know what I'm saying? It's all about production. Anybody could buy a dog because that's how you start off in the game, by buying dogs. But you want to buy a badass stud or you want to buy a badass bitch off a badass stud and take your bitch to a badass stud. Somebody else that got a stud that's off the chain, that's promoting them, that's marketing that motherfucker and all that shit. You want to take your bitch to that stud. You got to make sure it's complement each other. If your bitch got a high rear end, a high rear, you want to make sure that stud don't got no high rear. If your bitch got an underbite or overbite, you want to make sure he ain't got no underbite or overbite. It's all about correcting the flaws in your bitch or in your stud to make a better stud or a better bitch. You dig what I'm saying? It's all about progression. A lot of people just breeding just to breed. They breeding bullshit with bullshit. You see what I'm saying? You bring skinny shit with skinny shit, you go get skinny shit, bro. It always be a freak of nature that something out of that might come out decent. You know what I'm saying? Or might come out bad. You know, but the chances are slim, nigga. You dig what I'm saying? You want to make sure that you bettering your yard. Some people like breed just to breed. Like if somebody want to make bankroll or some shit like that, and they bitch fucked up, but I know they trying to better their yard. They in progress. They trying to progress and trying to better their motherfucking yard. All right, run that bag. I'm not on want shit off the litter. Just run that bag so you can better your yard. You gotta have a vision when you're doing this shit. Like you want your studs already picked out before it's even time for your bitch to even breed. You dig what I'm saying? And whatever flaws your bitch got, you want to make sure when you breed to whatever dog you breed to, that the flaws ain't there. You know what I'm saying? You need a stud to complement your bitch. And if you got a badass bitch with 5% flaws and a badass stud with 5% flaws, you in that motherfucker. You then guarantee that whole litter goes smack. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know what you're doing when you're doing this. And it's all off a male, man. It's all off a stud. Why you think they like, oh, this bitch is 2-3 times one of my favorite dogs, vape and this and that and woo. Because that's everything come off the stud. They like the bitch is 3 times vape. Yeah, and you go run that bitch to a motherfucking devil spit or some shit like that. Devilsace, bullsace. Hey, I just shot your shit out. You understand me? Devilsace, you did. It was my homie, he got that boy hard in Chicago. Just shot at your ass out, man. Straight up. But anyway, when you run into another bad stud, you dig what I'm saying? You can't help but to create some, my nigga Heno say, phenomenal shit. You dig what I'm saying? That's the whole thing, is to better your program. If you breeding and you steady breeding bullshit and your yard not getting better, you dig what I'm saying? You need to take sell all that shit, pet home that shit, do whatever the fuck you gotta do with that shit. Get that shit the fuck out your face, man. Get the money and buy you a badass bitch off a badass stud and run that bitch to a badass stud, man. And then start producing and keeping shit. Wild factor shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit that, you know, when you breeding and shit, most people ain't gonna say you they best pick pup. They be like, they want 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 for a puppy, right? So you get a puppy, and then the puppy don't turn out right. Cause you ain't get the best pick pup. You know what I'm saying? So in that case, buy something that's 7, 8 a year old. 7, 8 months a year old. You know what I'm saying? Something that look good. And then you have a better chance, because, man, it's a lot of dogs out here because they be all hype off the stud, right? Because everything off the stud, right? And they'll run this tall motherfucking giraffe-ass bitch to the stud. If you ain't breeding to make something tall, you know what I'm saying? And you just want this blood or this feature or this color to get into this bitch because you can't find nothing that's tall or XL to get into that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Hey, by any means, do your thing. Because you're breeding with a cause, man. Y'all got to stop breeding for nothing. Got to breed for a cause. You go get money anyway. If you sell a dog for $100, $200, $300, $1,000, you go get money. You'll get a couple dollars anyway. Probably ain't what you want. But you still go make some money to do something. Shit. Buy some food. You know what I mean? But you're really supposed to take the money. And if you ain't produce a bitch that's off the chain, take the money, go buy a bitch that's off the chain. Or as close as off the chain you could possibly get. You dig what I'm saying? And get you something worth having. So when you producing this shit, niggas seeing your puppies and your shit ain't looking like everybody else. You got to stop just being in the same, just thinking everything gonna come from your state. You know what I'm saying? It ain't. You can have some badass shit in your state, but if you want your shit to look better, that's what's in your state. You can't fuck with them. You got to go out your state. You got to mix some shit up with the shit you already got. You know what I'm saying? You got to know what blood throw what. Now, me, I'm a connoisseur of all type of manures, nigga. So, the widest motherfuckers that I done seen is the muscle tone. So, eventually, I will be incorporating muscle tone into my program. And the shortest shit from being the shortest shit since there was shortest shit, you understand me, is motherfucking toe line. They short, extreme, wide motherfucking dogs. Now this before Bape. They been making this shit. You gotta know what blood do what you need to be done in your program for you to, you know what I'm saying, succeed. You dig what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody really breeding the same. You go breed this to that, but niggas have different bloods, different bitches. So, you know, you gonna get different combinations of all kind of shit. But you gotta have a vision of what you trying to do. You dig what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it all starts from the stud.